We were also talking about Myles Garrett. He has requested a trade. I think it was about a week ago that Cleveland came out and they said, we are not trading Myles Garrett.
Came out and said it again today.
Did they reiterate that?
Yeah, I think they've reiterated that they have no interest in trading him. That just means...
Even after the request?
Yes. That just means, you know what, it really doesn't mean anything other than you better come strong with whatever offer you're going to bring our way.
Yeah, did they say we have no interest in trading him or we are not trading him? Because there's a difference. We have no interest means that we'd rather not trade him.
Well, last week, Andrew Berry, the general manager of the Browns, came out and said, you could offer us 2 first-round picks, and we would say no.
So offer us 3.
Well,
I'm not giving them 3, but...
Will the player want to play there, or will the player play there? Will he hold out there? We've seen all these messy teams or messy situations ruin seasons. Like, I think the Bengals' season was ruined early because of the holdouts. I really do. And they were in a window.
And their inability to stop anybody on the other side.
That's true, too. But don't you think that if they were on
it doesn't help the cause, for sure.
Jamar Chase, I think they probably would have beaten a team like the New England Patriots to start the season, even with that leaky defense. And they were a game away from making the postseason.
And by the way, it's not exactly the same, but Roquan Smith wanted a new contract. We saw how that worked out here in Chicago, where he was in camp, not really doing anything, which makes it hard which makes it hard on the team. You can't count on a guy, but he's under contract, so what do you do?
I don't know why the Browns wouldn't be more interested. Like, they've got one of the best bargaining chips in all of the NFL. I mean, you could argue that Micah Parsons is, because he's younger, may be a better, more attractive bargaining chip. But this guy right here, like, I mean, I just did the math. It's like 107.5 sacks that he's had in his career, and like crazy number of games. Like, it's kind of stupid what he's been able to accomplish to this point.
I'd call 3 of those teams. I'd call, if I'm the Bears, I'd call Cleveland, I'd call Dallas, and I'd call the Raiders.
Yeah,
and I'd say
see what they want.
I'd want Crosby, I'd want Garrett, and I'd want Parsons. And what are any of them possibilities?
Myles Garrett has 102.5 sacks in 117 games played. His last 4 seasons, 16 sacks, 14 and 14. I'm interested.
And oh, by the way, the Browns are 27 mil over the cap, second most in the NFL.
That's incredible.
And they're in hell, financial hell with the Deshaun Watson contract. I know that I think one of you guys was saying that there may be some relief from, the insurance or because of the injury, but
they're still
in hell.
They have been short on picks, and they could use more picks to make up for that. So here's what DK is saying, DraftKings. This is based on what you were saying, Meller. Here are the odds for Myles Garrett's next team. Who do you believe is the favorite?
The Buffalo Bills.
To be his, quote, next team. Think. I mean, this should be easier.
Well, the Browns.
The Browns are.
But I'm saying non-Browns.
Well, I'm just telling you what DK is listing. So DK has it plus 300 that he's going to be on the Browns. That's his next team odds. After the Browns, it is not the Bills.
Detroit.
It is not Detroit. It is a team that we had mentioned that is viewed as a huge upstart team and now should have a long sustained winning period based on the person they have playing quarterback. Yes. Washington is listed at plus 400. This surprises me, though. The third favorite to land him.
San Francisco.
San Francisco is plus 1,800. They would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. They're 10th.
Minnesota.
Minnesota is not on the list from what I see.
They don't have any picks to trade. Miami.
This shocks me. Miami's not on the list either. This is a team that I already mentioned that if I'm the Bears, I would call.
Raiders?
The Raiders.
Wow. Vegas. Yeah. Tom Brady now running the franchise.
They don't have a quarterback, though. Why are they giving up picks
I don't like that.
when they need to acquire a quarterback?
I think Green Bay would be on the list higher for me.
I think that is something that we need to watch for. We need to watch Green Bay.
Yeah.
Because that would make a lot of sense. Green Bay is listed at plus 1,200. They're just ahead of San Francisco and 9th on the list.
They have cap space, and they've got a ton of young players.
They usually don't make a move like this because they don't like giving up draft capital.
Yeah.
But it makes a lot of sense.
I think a team like Buffalo would make a huge
Their cap
push.
situation could be a little dicey.
Did they get any relief from Von Miller at the end of this year at all, his contract? I mean, that they are a pass rusher away. Like, again, you can say whatever you want. Like,
That would be someone special.
yeah, I mean, they gave up 32 points in Kansas City.
So let me give you the other odds. So Cleveland plus 300, Washington plus 400, Vegas plus 500, the Patriots plus 600, Arizona plus 850, and then the Bears at plus 950. After that, you've got the Chargers at plus 1,000, the Lions plus 1,000, then the Packers, and then the 49ers, as we discussed. So on the list of, like you said, Meller, in your Good, Bad, Dirty, you wouldn't think that Myles Garrett would be interested in the Bears. Of those teams, the Browns, the Commanders, the Raiders, the Patriots, the Cardinals, I think only the Commanders are more intriguing than the Bears. If you're Myles Garrett.
How much
of the
further
favorites.
down was the Chargers? How much further down?
They're right below the Bears.
I think that would be one, too. Again,
Yeah.
Khalil Mack's not coming
Playing
back.
in L.A.
You get to play in L.A. It's an up-and-coming team.
Lions, the Lions are where are they at?
That's same as the Chargers, plus 10 to 1.
It depends on what's important. He's got 2 years left, right? 2 years left on his deal at $25 million a year. Is he looking for new money? Did he say that in his letter?
Apparently there's I forget who had the report, but this is not. I think it was Jeremy Fowler.
not a money
This
play?
is not a money thing. He
Wants
just wants to
win.
win.
Yeah. That's why I don't think the Patriots. Now, you may think that they've got a good thing pointed in the right direction. The Patriots have more cap space than anyone in football right now. But I wouldn't think going to New England over the next 2 years is going to get him to the place he wants to go. I would think if winning is important to him, Buffalo would be a better destination for him than New England. If they can make the money
Now,
work in
now the
Buffalo.
Bills, I'm looking at cap room right now. They are 29th, so they are already over the cap. For
Yeah, that
next
Josh
season.
Allen money is
They have to
kicking in.
work some stuff out if they're going to make anything like that work.
Here's the poll question brought to you by your local Chicagoland Toyota dealers. Getting a lot of rips on this poll. I offered you guys this earlier today. Look, you can't rip any trade offer now that you had the trade over the weekend in the NBA. Who would have thought that we would have saw Luka get traded? Montez Sweat and the Bears' first-round pick for Myles Garrett. Who says no? And I gave you 4 options on who would say no. The Bears, the Browns, you, the voter, or nobody says no. A, B, C, D. How did you vote?
I voted the Browns.
The Browns would say no.
Yeah.
So that wouldn't interest the Browns. A pass rusher, a little younger, not as good, but high paid, and that would probably.
I think they would rather have no pass rusher coming in return and 2 first-round picks or more. I think the Browns would say no to that.
You know, I think both might. Like, I think the Bears, if they're going to go after Myles Garrett, I think they want to keep Montez Sweat on the roster. Because otherwise, listen, Garrett is far and away better than Montez Sweat. But exactly the reason the Bears had no pass rusher last year was because they had nobody on the other side of Sweat. I don't think you want to give up an additional first and now put yourself in the similar spot.
I feel confident that Ryan Poles will make the call. I think he'll make a call to see what it will cost.
He did with Matthew Judon.
Yes.
We saw that on Hard Knocks last year.
I think that he has not lacked aggression.
Don't you do you think that there's any regret on giving Montez Sweat the money they gave him? He's getting paid like Max Crosby and Myles Garrett.
they may be able. They may try to comfort themselves and say, "Well, listen, he was banged up all year, and we didn't have any help on the other side." But I think if you hit them with the truth serum, they would tell you they didn't get their money's worth.
You know who else was banged up all year and still ended up with, I want to say, 11 and a half and 12 sacks is T.J. Watt.
Yeah.
T.J. Watt was banged up all year. Like, the good ones still find a way to get to the quarterback. He's paid in that realm. I'm not. So if you say, well, obviously, Sylvie's not TJ Watt, they're paying him like that.
Oh, they're paying him exactly. He's getting exactly per year what Myles Garrett's getting, $25 million a year.
So 37% of the people say that they would be against it. 31.7% say the Browns would be against it. 18.2% say the Bears would be against it. And only 13.1% of the people say nobody would be against it. We have nearly 5,000 votes.
I wouldn't be against it.
Oh, I definitely would not be against it.
I mean,
Including Montez Sweat in the deal?
Yeah. You get rid of his, then you could still sign other guys. You had money. It would be a wash on the salary you're paying him, and you would still have plenty of that cap room left to sign offensive linemen.
Maybe I'm still too intrigued by what he did that first year where he came in and he was a difference maker. I want to see, though, because if you could get a Myles Garrett and have Sweat on the other side, now I feel like you're cooking with gas.
But don't you feel that was an anomaly year? That the rest of his career, Montez Sweat has been an 8.5 sack per year guy?
No, listen, I can't debate. You're right. He never had double-digit sacks prior to the previous year with the Bears. But at the same time, I'm trying to think. Like I guess Chase Young was on the other side of him in Washington.
And he only had one good year.
Yeah, he was never really the difference maker that Myles Garrett is. Man, I just love the idea of having two edge rushers.
No, I'm with Meller here. 'Cause, wouldn't you want, even if he is just an 8.5 sack guy, wouldn't you want that opposite Myles Garrett? Because 8.5 probably
I'd
turns
be
more
willing
into
to
10.
bet he could get to double digits on the other side
think
of
so?
Garrett.
That they just make both better.
How about this? I'd rather the Bears give up 2 first-round picks than a first and Sweat.
Wow.
I think I would.
Okay. So then you're light on cap room and you're light on draft picks.
But are you really light on cap room?
Well, you're lighter on cap room if you keep Sweat, and you're lighter on picks.
That's
then
undeniable.
if you get rid of Sweat, then you're just upgrading your defensive end, your edge rusher. You have a better edge rusher, and you're keeping the same amount of cap room.
what if you did the deal as Sylvie said? You've got money to spend, right? You go after Josh Sweat or maybe Hassan Reddick or one of the other fairly accomplished pass rushers that maybe isn't going to cost you as much as you're paying.
And you keep your picks.
And you keep your picks, yeah.
Yeah, they had a chance to do that last year. I don't know why they didn't. Yeah, I'm fine with that.
Oh, yeah. I mean, you could have signed Daniil Hunter for 2 years, $50 million.
Mm-hmm.
So the way I'm looking at it, the Bears are still going to have, they'll have about $53 million in cap room. If you add Garrett's money, you can still go after Trey Smith in free agency.
Andrew Dahlman. If you look at what the Bears are set up cap-wise, I think they've got 47 guys signed for next year. You only have to field 53. So
I'd rather do that, just go big game hunting and get those 3 guys and not fill it in with a bunch of Gerald Everett types. Who
I'm
needs
with
that?
you. I don't need to piecemeal it.
Yeah.
Piecemeal it the way they did.